Imagine waking up every single day in a $6 million Manhattan penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows and just waking up every morning watching the sunrise over New York City. Sounds like a dream, but here's the truth. You don't need 10 properties to live this sort of lifestyle. One great commercial property can completely fund your dream lifestyle. Today, I'm going to show you how a single shopping centre in Western Australia brings in over $400,000 a year in passive income with 7 major national tenants. This property completely funds your luxurious lifestyle in Manhattan, and most people think you need 10 plus properties to live this sort of lifestyle. Today I'm going to show you how one deal funds it all. I'm James Hawthorne and I research commercial property deals and show you what sort of lifestyle they can actually fund. So stick around because I'm going to show you the strategy and the numbers behind this one deal and how this retail shopping centre in Western Australia can completely fund your dream lifestyle. Let's get into it. Now let's get into analysing the property that's actually going to fund our financial freedom. So I found this shopping centre in Western Australia that sold for $10 million. Now $10 million is a lot of money, but let's get into analysing what are you actually going to get for value when you spend $10 million. So I found this large shopping centre. It's in a large block and it takes up the middle of the actual block, and you've got a car park out the back as well. So it's a pretty big shopping centre for $10 million. And as you can see, it's pretty much surrounded by hotels, and there's not a lot of urbanization in the area yet, which can be a good thing because they're probably going to develop it more. And it's got a large major tenant, which is a good thing as well. It's got Woolworths, Terry White Chemist. It's got like a $2 store. So it's a pretty big shop, and it's got nice local amenities. So that's the frontage, so you can see it's Woolworths, which is a major tenant. I don't know, maybe that's a art gallery as well. But it's got 2 major tenants, so Chemist and Woolworths. So if we look at the actual location, how far away is it from Perth? Right, it's quite a distance away from Perth. It's a little bit inland, so it's more of a regional location, but it's got strong tenants, 83%, and national tenants, which is a good thing. So it's actually a private equity company that owns the property and they're selling it. And so it's got a large anchor tenant, which is Woolworths, and some 7 smaller tenants like OPSM, which is the optometrist, Terry White Chemart, Liquorland, and actual government as well. So it's got some pretty good solid tenants, but it's in a regional area, so there's that cost you got to weigh up. Do you want to invest in more of a regional area, which can be a bit more risky, but it has got these big, large, long-term tenants that are going to be staying in the property for a long time. So Woolworths has been there since 2005. For over 20 years they've been there, so the likelihood of they're going to be there for another 20 years is pretty high. It's had $446,000 in expenses since 2016 to fix up the property, which is a lot, but over 8 years, you're talking 60, 70,000 a year. So you've got to put this into your budget as well in terms of future ongoing expenses that you're going to need to put into the property. So it's got a strong core tenancy with retention over 10 years. Got these large major tenants that want to stay there for the long term. And it's got a large net income. So fully leased, the net income is $866,000, which is pretty good yield. That's 8.6% yield. And obviously with these large expenses, there's a bit of tax depreciation you can actually claim. And it's got 140 car spots as well, which is pretty good. So you got to make sure people actually coming to the shopping center, so having the car spots, people can drive there. So it's a pretty good deal that you're getting for $10 million, $866,000 in income with major tenants. It is a bit more of a regional area, but you're not going to get some sort of shopping center like this in a major city like Sydney or Melbourne for $10 million. So let's go and analyze the actual passive income you can generate from this one property. So if you look at our cash flow calculator, the purchase price of $10 million using a 30% deposit We've got that net income of $866,000. Assuming a 6.5% interest rate, your rent's $866,000, your repayments are $455,000, so you're left over with a cash flow of $411,000 a year in passive income just from this one retail shop. And if we look at our cash flow snapshot, if interest rates go up to 12%, you're still going to be positively geared $26,000 a year. So you've got a huge buffer in place. So if interest rates, they're at 6.5% now, if they go up and almost double to 12%, you're still going to be positively geared from this property, which is a huge thing in terms of being able to hold it for the long term. If it's still positively cash flowed, even at 12% interest rates, you can hold onto the property. Whereas most residential properties, if the interest rates go up to 12%, there's no way you're going to be able to be positively geared and hold onto the property for the long term. And if interest rates go down to 3%, you're positively geared $650,000 just from this one property, which is a huge amount of money just to be generating cash flow just from one property. And if we look at our property pay down calculator, same purchase price, same yield, I'm assuming a 3.5% rental increase each year. And if you use the cash flow to pay down the debt each year, in year 1, you got obviously positively geared $411,000. By year 5, you're generating $670,000 a year in passive income. By year 9, the property's paid off debt-free, and you're generating over $1 million a year in passive income just from this one retail shop. $1 million a year in passive income. I don't even know how you could spend $1 million each year, but this property is going to be generating that sort of cash flow by year 9, debt-free. It's pretty amazing. Now let's go see what sort of lifestyle can you live off the $411,000 a year in passive income. So for boiling in a budget, I decided to go to New York. I used to love watching New York listings and seeing the amazing apartments there are in New York. So I thought, why not go and see what sort of lifestyle could you live based off the passive income we're generating from this retail shop. So we've got that budget of $411,000 a year from the passive income in year 1 the property is going to be generating. And I found this really nice $6.5 million apartment in New York with mortgage repayments of $413,000 a year. So just $1,000 over our budget, but it's a pretty amazing apartment. Let's go have a look. So it sold for almost $6.5 million, and as you can see, it's a pretty amazing apartment. Top of the line finishings, amazing views of the whole of New York. Amazing kitchen, dining, lounge area. You can see the Empire State Building. You got views of the whole of Manhattan. It's pretty amazing. Your bedroom's got views. Study, lounge room's got views. Another bedroom's got views. It's a pretty amazing apartment with the best finishes you can think of. You probably got a chauffeur, pool room. It's a pretty amazing apartment. You got your own gym as well, sauna, pool, basketball court. You're never going to leave here basically. Got a rooftop as well. So it's a prime location, not far from the water. And so if you did a 20% deposit over 30 years, 6% interest rates, your repayment's going to be $34,500 a month. Obviously, there are going to be other expenses, strata management fees when you're buying a property like this. But it's one of the nicest properties you could find with amazing views of New York. And it's, $1,000 over our budget. But to live in that sort of apartment, you never have to leave your house basically. You've got everything you need, and it's one of the most luxury apartments you can imagine with amazing views. And it's all funded just by one commercial property, a retail shopping centre in Western Australia, a bit regional, but for $10 million. It's generating a huge amount of cash flow, and it's going to be debt-free within 9 years. So it's a pretty amazing opportunity. And that's the power of commercial real estate and how it can kind of build up that passive income to fund an amazing lifestyle. Now that's a New York Manhattan lifestyle completely funded by a shopping centre in Western Australia. Now go watch my last video where I show you how a Melbourne apartment is completely funded just from the passive income from one commercial property. So go watch that next, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out.